Most of them out here, and I have just finished getting the Legend of Total Taurox Achievement of achieving Endless Rampage and getting 50 battles in one turn. I just wanted to make a quick video to explain how you can get the Endless Rampage going so that you can have an infinite number of battles in one turn, like Legend was able to do on his This Is Total War Taurox campaign, and also just give my evaluation of how difficult it is. When I first heard that Legend was able to get an infinite number of battles in one turn with the Endless Rampage, my initial feeling was, oh, that seems a bit broken, maybe that's a bit unbalanced, you know, maybe it needs to be nerfed. But then I thought, well, if it's really hard to achieve, Legend's not really, the average player. If it's something that's only really achievable by, a very small handful of players and it's like super difficult and stuff like that, then it's not really, that much of an issue in terms of balance. So I wanted to see for myself how hard it was to do. So I set the goal of getting the Endless Rampage to trigger and also to actually get the 50 battles in one turn. I just want to make clear, the point of this was not to like beat Legend's record of 50 battles by getting 51 or something. As I understand it, Legend had achieved the Endless Rampage, so he could essentially have as many battles as he liked. He just chose to stop at 50 because he felt the point was made. There'd be no point trying to beat his record because he's essentially achieved endless battles. So I just wanted to see if I could actually get to that same amount of 50 battles and also get the Endless Rampage mechanic going. When you play as Taurox, you have two special currencies. You have momentum and you have Rampage. Now, momentum, you can later on spend it to refresh your movement. You've got a special button here, and once it's available, you can spend 2 of your momentum points, and that will refresh your movement bar completely. So you can use up all your movement, press this bar, get all your movement back again. And you can only do that as many times as you can afford to by spending your momentum, and it costs 2 points each time. So that's momentum. Momentum is what you spend to refresh your movement. Then you have your Rampage marks. And every time you have a battle, you get a certain number of Rampage marks and they'll fill up this bar. Currently, we have no Rampage marks. We fight this battle. You'll see, now we have a little bit of Rampage. Keep fighting more battles. And we get more Rampage. We got 8 Rampage marks when we had the battle last turn. And this turn, when we fought another battle, we got another 8 Rampage marks. So it goes up by the same amount each time you fight a battle, at 8 Rampage marks. However, if you fight more than one battle in the same turn, the amount that it goes up each time rises. So instead of getting 8 marks, you might get 10 or 12 or 15. Eventually, you'll get enough Rampage tokens to reach the harsh Rampage level, and once you do this, that unlocks the ability to spend your momentum points to replenish your movement. So it costs 2 momentum points, and that gives you all of your movement back, and that allows you to then attack multiple times in the same turn more easily. And when you attack multiple times in the same turn, instead of just getting 8 Rampage tokens per battle, you start getting more and more tokens. Here you can see we've achieved the first level, the harsh Rampage level. That's what unlocks the replenishing of the movement. And it also gives you access to a choice of 4 different rewards. The first set of rewards is the least important one, but it has a couple of good things. This army ability Voltide gives you an AoE magic spell that you can use anywhere on the battlefield. This one gives you some ward save. These ones give you some other abilities. This is -8 enemy leadership and melee defense. Makes it a bit easier to break your enemies. Once you get to the second level of rewards though, you get access to this one. It reduces the movement cost to replenish campaign movement by -1. Instead of costing 2 momentum, it only costs 1, thanks to that reward that I've got active. As you progress, you fight more and more battles. This bar fills up until you get to the cataclysmic Rampage stage, and then you get access to these rewards. These rewards are mainly around spending your dread, which I won't go into too much now, but it allows you to get cheaper heroes. Now, basically, how it's supposed to work is that you fight one battle, you get 8 momentum. Say next turn you fight another battle, you get 8 momentum, etc., etc. You keep building up till you get to harsh Rampage streak, and now all of a sudden you can use your momentum to get additional turns, so you can fight multiple battles per turn. And once you start rampaging, your first battle of that turn might give you 8 then the next one might give you 12 or 15, and then the next one might give you 20, etc. So instead of going up by little bumps like this, eventually you'll be going up by big chunks. You'll go like from 0 all the way to this one in one battle, you know, and eventually if you manage to cycle through the whole lot, you'll end up getting from 0 all the way to maximum, almost maximum in one battle. So how that works is that you'll get up to harsh rampage, you'll start rampaging, then you'll start spending your momentum to replenish your movement. Then you get to this level, then you get to this level, and then it resets. You go back to 0 rampage and you lose the ability to spend your momentum to get more movement. You don't lose your momentum, it stays here, but it's not accessible while you're in this stage. As soon as you get here, and all the way up to here, then you can spend your momentum again. But the problem is, the more battles that you have in one turn, the larger amount that this bar goes up each battle. So eventually you get it to the point where it goes up more than this amount in one battle. So basically you'll get to this point, then you won't be able to rampage anymore, but hopefully you're within movement range of something else that you can fight, and then you attack something else and boom, it puts you back into rampage again. However, in order to get from 0 all the way to harsh rampage in one battle, you will need to have already fought many battles in that one turn, like maybe 15 or something like that already, to be able to get that much out of one battle. The first time you cycle through, so you get, you know, you go from 0 up to here, then it resets you back to 0. It's probably going to take you 2 or 3 battles to get back up to harsh rampage streak again. And I think if the enemies that you fight are larger, they have more troops, that helps. But the amount of battles that you've had already, the amount of battles that you've had already that turn is the main thing that increases the amount of rampage marks that you get per battle. So that first time that you go through the cycle, you're going to have to save a lot of movement, and you're going to have a lot of field armies within range that you can actually attack. So you'll get next to one of the field armies, then you'll reset your movement using this so that you've got your maximum amount of movement. Then you'll fight one field army, fight another field army, and fight another field army. Hopefully you've got enough movement to hit all 3 of them, and that will get you back to this point. And then you'll be able to start using your momentum to refresh your movement and, you know, rampage around again until the point where you reset. So that first one's the hardest one, because you need like 3 battles to get from 0 to here. But once you've cycled through a few times, you'll be able to get past here in like one battle. Another thing about the endless rampage is that the turn never ends. So that means that you never get any replenishment. You're never able to equip any items, because equipping items takes a turn for the item to actually go onto the character. You can never recruit any new units. So you have to be prepared for that. And one of the things that you need to really do to make it work is to be able to have every character in your army have regeneration. So you don't have access to healing as beastmen, but you do have access to some regeneration items. Now, if you go into your Rewards of Dread menu, under items, you'll see this item here, Champion's Essence. It costs 10,000 favor, but it gives you, amongst other things, Drunken Bravado, which restores 4 hit points per second, gives you also Perfect Vigor. Now, basically, you need to get this item on every one of your characters. You need to have a full army of heroes and then equip them all with this item. You can also use Gorgons. Gorgons have regeneration. You can use Minotaurs as well. Minotaurs can be quite good because they, as long as you don't lose any individual entities, they'll get full health back at the end of each battle. But can be quite hard to make sure that they never lose any entities, so they can slowly degrade over time. You'll need to recruit your heroes by increasing the cap in here. Now, this is where you use the majority of your dread if you're trying to do this. You just want to get these caps as high as you can for your heroes. I found the Wargors were particularly good for battle, and the Bray Shamans, of course, are your magic users, so you're going to be doing a lot of spell damage, so you're going to need both of those. You're going to get the majority of your dread from these rewards. So level 1 gives you 50 for each one of these. level 2 gives you 100 for each of these, and level 3 gives you 200 for each of these. And these rewards reduce the cost, the dread cost of increasing your hero cap by 50% for that particular hero cap. So, you know, the first time you cycle through, you might choose this one to make your Gorbals cheaper. By that time, maybe you've got like 1,000 dread saved up. So you go in here, go into heroes, choose Gorbal, and then you just put that up. Get or recruit all your Gorbals. Then the next time you cycle through here, you'll choose Bray Shamans, go back in, hire all your Bray Shamans. So if you want to do this endless rampage, endless turn, infinite battles thing, it takes quite a lot of setup. For me, it took about, I don't know, probably about 20 or more turns before I started sort of doing it, but it wasn't very strong, so I didn't have regeneration on all of my characters. And then I didn't finally get it going until probably late turn 27 or turn 30 or something like that. It was quite difficult to maintain it, so I ended up losing my rampage a couple of times, had to do it again, and it was yeah, not until turn 34 that I managed to actually get it going perpetually and hit that overflow mark where I got the endless rampage. So how difficult was it to achieve endless rampage with Taurox? It was pretty difficult. You need tens of thousands of favor, which is like the Beastmen gold. You need like 5,000 dread to buy all the heroes that you need. All of this takes, you know, probably a couple of dozen turns at least to get ready. It requires sort of meticulous planning of every turn, and even then it requires a lot of luck. Honestly, I think it would be extremely difficult, like unlikely that you would be successful without using other exploits as well. The main one that I think is pretty much absolutely necessary is using the movement bug. If you're not familiar with the movement bug, I've got another video that I'll link at the end of this, my 5-turn Calidor Confederation video for Imric. If you want to find out how to do the movement bug, you can click on that at the end of the video. Even with the movement bug, it's still pretty hard and very finicky and difficult and very time consuming to pull off. Took me a total of about 19 hours, but it was very engaging. You know, so yeah, so whether it should be nerfed, I don't know. Yeah, I think if you're willing to use the movement bug, and you've had a bit of practice with Taurox and you understand the mechanic really well, then I think, you know, experienced players will be able to achieve the endless rampage. If you need any tips or help on how to achieve it, please post a comment below. I try to answer my comments as often as possible. In closing, I'd just like to say that, I don't know, maybe it's overpowered. I don't know if that's really of that much importance in a single player campaign. One thing I will say though is that it's really engaging. The gameplay of Taurox's Rampage mechanic really tests your ability to sort of strategize to keep that Rampage going, and it's really effective at pulling you into this really unique campaign where, you know, when you're playing Taurox, you know, all you care about is carnage and slaughter, and your greatest fear is that the carnage and slaughter will stop or slow down even. You just need to keep that momentum going, keep that rampage going. It's pretty addictive. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video informative or helpful, and I look forward to when you guys can all try out Taurox with me in a couple of days.